I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about one of my favorite trees, the cottonwood. And I had showed you some down in Southern California, but we're up now at the northern terminus of the White Mountains, and they have some gorgeous cottonwoods up here and in the Owens Valley. But here's a nice kind of adolescent sized cottonwood, and I thought it'd be nice to kind of illustrate. Here's a broken tip I found earlier today, and this is why it is called cottonwood. You can see these little tufts, and sometimes the air will just be filled with it's how it propagates. The wind carries the cotton and the seeds, and there they go off to new cottonwoods. This is a deciduous tree, and part of the ideal of the tree is that it gives this glorious shade in the summer, but then in the winter, when you need the sunlight, the leaves are gone. And so they're great to have around your house and your yard. And these leaves are really unique. And I'm going to borrow one of these, buddy. Thank you. The Native Americans actually use this leaf as their design to make their teepees. And so they would take their buffalo hides, I think often it would be like 5, 6 buffalo, if you can imagine, hides, and they would stitch them together, but in this pattern, and you can see how it folds up just like a teepee, right? And there's the smoke flap, the rain flap, that can be open and closed, and the sides can be lifted up to bring in a breeze from the bottom. And so the Native Americans, especially the Plains tribes, the Lakota, the Sioux, this was a very sacred tree to them. And if you look up at the top, they would harvest these trees in a sacred way for the Sundance Festival. And they would often try to find one with a forked top, and they would strip it of its branches, and they would bring it to a sacred Sundance ceremony, and they would plant it into the ground, and then they would tie tethers from the top. And Lakota warriors and braves, often it was like a vow, or perhaps it was like a type of vision quest, where they would actually use pain as a vehicle to try to transcend, to peek beyond the veil, to commune with the Great Spirit or the spirits. And so they had different methods. So they would take leather tongs strapped to the top, and they would often take some would use eagle talons that they would pierce their pec muscles with, and then those would be attached to the thongs, and they would actually lean back so all their weight was being supported by the leather in these thongs. Other times they would just take a stick and they would pierce their pec muscle and attach leather straps. And while they're doing this, they would be gazing at the sun and writing this pain, and they would have visions through this. So this was a sacred tree in a lot of ways, not only for the design for the teepee, but also for this sacred Sundance ritual. It was the centerpiece. So the cottonwoods.